Hello and welcome once again to another episode of Open Talk. In today's episode, our guests are Ms. Fadia Suleiman Hussein, CEO of Suleiman Hussein Academy from Sudan, and Mr. Amir Abu Bakr, Team Leader, Entrepreneurship and Innovation Program, UNIDO, ITPO Bahrain, and Arab International Center for Entrepreneurship and Investment from Sudan. And we will talk to them about unleashing entrepreneurship and innovation in education. Welcome to our program, Mr. Amir and Ms. Fadia.
Thank you.
So to start with, can you tell me about the Bahrain model?
Enterprise Development and Investment Promotion Program, which is known as Arab Bahraini model, is implemented in about 52 countries in the world. The main aim of this program is to enhance and mobilize the stakeholders of the entrepreneurial ecosystems in these countries. By ecosystem, we mean policy, we mean universities, we mean relevant private institutions, we mean governmental institutions, we mean schools. All this compromises the entrepreneurial ecosystem in these countries.
So I believe you have implemented some of these things in Sudan. Could you talk to us about it?
Actually, 2 years ago, some of the Bahrain entrepreneurship from the UNIDO, they came to Sudan and they gave a lecture for teachers, and they make for them a course. And then they came and visit our school where we have they did for primary and for the senior, and they give them a lecture, and the children were so impressed. And then they start to do their own things. They do things by their hands, and then they come and sell it and take the money and and give it for the poor children, for example, in the orphan house in Sudan. And the idea is they were so excited that they worked so hard, and they make the bazaar. And actually we also integrated to the special need, because in our school it's integrated special need. And one of the students, she has been cooking and she did a wonderful job. And she sold all her cookies, and she was very precise to how much money to give for the orphans and how much she has to give. And I was very impressed by her way of doing the calculation to give us the 25%, and she takes 75%. And all this started from them, and that's what they're trying now. We're doing it to the seniors. So we want the children to start to have, not all of them are going to be entrepreneurship and they have a business, but the innovation that if you have something you want to do and you want to sell it, and then we can help you in the school to lead you, and then when you go into the university you can have your projects and then choose what you want to work with and to continue. And Mr. Amir and the UNIDO, they will help them in the future by giving them extra courses and mentoring them. And that's what they're doing, what I'm seeing, because in the universities now that's what they're doing. They're mentoring the students to do their own businesses when they finish their studies in the universities.
So talking about that, how important is that? We have seen the older generation never used to have that. How important is to be innovative and having more entrepreneurs out there?
Actually, the Enterprise Development and Investment Promotion Program focuses on education with other stakeholders of the entrepreneurial ecosystem. And we have actually two programs with regard to or pertaining to education. We have university level programs and school level programs.
Okay.
For university level programs, we have three interventions. The first intervention is a program for lecturers and faculties of the universities.
Okay.
And the aim of this program is to facilitate them introduce entrepreneurship and innovation as a part of the curriculum.
Okay.
The second level is the graduate level. And the aim of this program is to enable them and facilitate them transfer their ideas or their researches into lucrative venture.
Okay.
The third level is the level of students themselves, and we do a program for students to think of entrepreneurship and to start their own businesses as an option.
Okay.
Okay, with regard to school level, we conduct training of trainers program for the school teachers, and we focus on how to inculcate and how to introduce entrepreneurship and innovation within the curriculum of the schools.
Okay.
Because entrepreneurship is related with innovation, is related to creativity and also to critical thinking. And our efforts and endeavor is to introduce innovation and creativity within the curriculum of the schools.
So, talking about the schools, I believe you try to implement these things. Did you face any difficulties to implement?
We had, but because when they start to sell, it's not easy to stop them, because usually we tell them you have to do the things. It's not trading thing. It's not like a shop. You have to do the things in the house and you come and sell it. But the children, they're sometimes lazy, so they just go and buy things from the shops and they sell it to their colleague in the school. And to stop this was a little bit difficult. But the idea is to train the children also to be involved in the community and how to do their things properly, and to give, when I said this especially, we insist that we take the 25% for her, because she has to know that she has to pay for the community, she has to pay for the government. Actually, we have taxes and this and that. So when you introduce it early for the student to know what they have on the liabilities on them and the profit, it will be easier in the future. And it teaches them to be responsible and honest. But that's where the tricky thing, because they're so smart and intelligent, they want to go around to get the maximum for themselves. But you have to track them back. No, this is what you're supposed to do, and this is what you're not supposed to do. And that's how the things goes. And I hope that in the future they will be better citizens and they really work properly. And the idea of, as Mr. Amir said, to put it in school curriculum, it will make it much easier in the future, that when you have an idea and you think it is different, go forward for it and ask people to help you. Sometimes you can fail, because failing is very important, that to show children not everything is a success.
Of course.
When you fail, you have to try again and change your way of thinking for doing it next time better. And that's how things goes usually, and make things better for everybody. And especially to put them in the community, because now everybody, this is a problem. But to be involved in the community in early stage, this is much better for everyone.
It is very important. It makes you more responsible as a human being or as a person.
Citizen, yeah.
Yes. So, how, in your opinion, how has the education evolved in the last decade?
Education is going fast.
Okay.
And especially in creativity. And actually in Sudan, we're a little bit slow to be in hands with the everyday change in education. Because when you're seeing now everybody's using electronic board, using the electronic devices, which is sometimes when the children, they sit for it in a very long time, it is very dangerous. But still people, they use it, the children in some schools, in preschools. But all the time we say, you have to see the best for the kids, not to sit in the front of the X-rays for a long time, because it's not healthy. But education is going faster. We can see it every day, the new devices, new ways of but adding and maths 1 and 2 and 3, this is usually everybody, but still education is going fast, especially in modeling, in doing new ideas, in how to get, especially for the special need, and people now are putting them to give them good education, and they can be good citizens, and they can have their own work. And so if for a special need you can do this, for intelligent and normal kids, it's much, it can be done for them to be more intelligent and more, they say the intelligent percent is increasing, that's what scientists say. And we can see it actually. We can see that the new children are more intelligent from what we had been thinking in our time and our way. And I hope they're going to be really better than us. Usually we think for our next generation to be better than us. And
well, they're being guided by you guys.
Of course,
I'm sure.
of course, they have to be guided by someone. But usually children, they don't want to be guided, and that's what we'll tell them all the time. You cannot get the knowledge by yourself. We will help you, we will guide you, we will mentor you. But give us space, and we will give you space to continue to do your things yourself. But new generation are a little bit quicker.
They are, yeah.
Things to
With
be
the
done
technology,
in seconds.
yes.
In addition to that, there are some dimensions which is introduced to the education systems, especially introduction of entrepreneurship, creativity, and innovation by training and facilitating students in how to do, for instance, projects like market research and business model development and business plan development and product development, so as to facilitate them once they graduate, they can start their own business from early stages.
Of course, it's important. It teaches you self-independence, how to be interactive, and do things by yourself.
How to be creative.
Exactly.
How to solve your problems.
Exactly. Yeah.
This is soft skills are very important.
It is. It's very important.
And it's very important to inculcate it while they are very young, because they can grow with this.
So, going back to the Bahrain model, having it practiced in different countries, how important is that?
Actually, the importance of this Bahraini model, because it is a model which is recognized internationally. This model is implemented in so many countries, India, China, most of the Arab countries, many of the African countries, and also some of the Latin American countries and some European countries like Russia, like Turkey, like Armenia. All these countries are now adopting this model, and of course is a UNIDO model. And the importance of this model is that it is interdisciplinary model. It works with education, it works with financial institutions, with governmental institutions, non-governmental institutions, culture, media, in interactive and interdisciplinary manner.
That's very important. Yes. It's having that as a model and people practicing it in the education field. It's very important. Yeah. So, why do you believe innovation is important in enhancing education?
It's important because when you give the children education, reading and writing, everybody he knows how to read and write. But if he's not creative and innovative, he's not going to be different. And that's all the time what I tell the children. When we give you a work concerning writing or making an essay, make your own soul in it, because you will need this later on, because everybody is now having education. But so for you to be different, you have to have your own innovation in the work you're doing. You think comprehension is just writing, whatever, but when you give them these guides, he will try his best to try to be different from what he used to do. Now today on the meeting, some people are saying that people like to imitate each other. If you have a shop here, tomorrow there's going to be another shop, the same thing. For this, we try to. You want to make a shop, do it in another place with another innovation and ideas where it will be a little bit different, so you can attract new things in the work you're doing. Education is to make children to be creative by giving them the space to learn whatever they like, because sometimes also we guide the children. We said usually we want you to be a doctor or engineer. We never say I want you to be a football player, I want you to be a musician. And culture play a role in innovating their children what to be in the future. And for this in the school all the time we try to tell parents, especially because kids, they don't know what they want to do, but we give them the way of their leads in the future. And then we tell them, don't say to your child, I want you to be a doctor, I want you to be an engineer. Within the educational years, you can see what your child likes and dislikes, and you can help him. You give them all the opportunity to do. Let them play football, let them play sport, music, acting, drawing, and then see which is best for them and help to be better. And we tell children in the hobbies, whatever the hobby you want to do, if you play music, let's make a music day in the school, and then you can gain some money. If you want to draw, let's make a drawing. It's not easy, but still, it's a small job. You do it for the kids. It will help for them in future to be inventors and entrepreneurship when whatever the future is going to be for them. Education is very important, and that's what we mean, education and education and education. And what we mean by education, don't put the students in a box and feed them.
Yeah.
Teach them all the time to go around and to go to picnics to see the things going around. Let them meditate in what they're seeing, what they're getting. This how good education will make the children to be open-minded in the future and to accept the others, because when they see in the nature how the birds are different and how they're eating and sometimes how cruel nature when a bird kill another, they can understand life, and meditation and going out for the kids is very important, and give them space, the most important thing. Don't put them in boxes.
Actually, introducing innovation and creativity at early stages of education will lead to that the students will be creative and will be innovative during his study at the university. He will be creative and innovative during his research projects. He will be also creative and innovative when he is employed either in the private sector or the government sector. Also, he will be innovative and creative if he take entrepreneurship as an option for his career development.
Of course. So basically, if it's more important, do you think it's more important to start this in the higher education or the basic education?
Actually, the basic education is very important, and to continue with the higher education.
So basically, it's easier because you can actually get to the kids when they're younger.
The earlier the better.
Yeah, the earlier the better. So, what is the best practice that has been formed by the Bahrain model? One of the best practices that you had in the Bahrain model.
Actually, one of the best practices actually is really introducing the entrepreneurship at the education level, especially the university level, because the university level, either at the graduate or postgraduate studies, they have researches, and these researches, the entrepreneurship development program facilitates them to transfer these researches into business. By developing business model and then developing business plan. At the end of the day, we have a lucrative business for the entrepreneur himself, and also at the same times he can help his country by creation of wealth, by creation of jobs. These are very important factors which lead at the end of the day to economic and social development.
Of course, and that's a great job from UNIDO.
Thank you so much.
So, how do you view the general standards of the education in the region?
Actually, each country has its own way of doing their education, because there is different models of education. If you go to, they said, Mansouri way of education for the preschooling, and other models. But usually, the governments, they try to put their traditions in their education, especially in the languages, in the religion. But for math and sciences, it's international, and this is the idea that this is a common thing. I mean, geography, you cannot change history. So education in the Arab countries, it's in these subjects is the same, but some of the countries, they try to close in their country, not in the region, because you can see African, Arab, Asia, Arab, different regions within with the Arab community, and at the same time, but math and science and history, it is there everywhere, and every country choose whatever they think the best. But math, I think, we are trying now in Sudan to increase the math way of doing maths, because we think maths, it is the key for a lot of new science, for technology and physics and biology. Maths now is there in everywhere. And we Arabs, as far as I know, we were mathematicians from a long time ago. And we hope the best for this. But we need to pay more money in education all over the Arab world, because for training teachers, for buildings, for equipments, for science and technology, because this how children, because if you give a child a pen, he can just crack it like this in a second. And then, it's a little bit expensive to teach science subjects because the children usually they don't use things, equipments in a proper way. Yeah. So more money to be paid
Invested.
in primary schools and in senior schools where the children they need. This is, I think, is very important to give and to train teachers. This is very important.
Well, thank you both for being
Thank
with
you so
us. It was a great pleasure talking to you about this, and education is indeed very important. And I hope to see a bright future in the MENA region and even the world.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Once again, our guests today were Ms. Fadia Suleiman Hussein, CEO of Suleiman Hussein Academy from Sudan, and Mr. Amir Abu Bakr, Team Leader, Entrepreneurship and Innovation Program UNIDO, ITPO Bahrain, and Arab International Center for Entrepreneurship and Investment from Sudan. Thank you for watching Open Talk. Have a good evening.